Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to turn your curiosity into instant expertise. Today, we're jumping into a really hot topic in cinema, the upcoming film Coolie. You've given us this preview, and our job is to figure out why this action thriller is getting so much attention and maybe what makes it, potentially a big deal for Indian cinema. Okay, so let's get into it. What makes Coolie such a great subject for us to dive into, especially thinking about how different creative styles might mix?
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, is you've got this collision of two absolute titans. You have director Lokesh Kanagaraj, who's built this reputation for his gritty, grounded cinematic universe, and then the absolute legend, superstar Rajinikanth. So this isn't just, another movie. It feels more like a big creative experiment, trying to blend these really distinct approaches. The whole industry, the fans, everyone's wondering how these worlds are going to mesh.
Right. Okay, let's start with Lokesh Kanagaraj then. For anyone maybe not totally familiar, what's his signature style? Why is him directing Rajinikanth so intriguing?
Lokesh, yeah. He's known for these really intense, often interconnected action films. You think of Kaithi or Vikram. They're praised for being raw, realistic fight scenes, strong character focus. His whole approach kind of avoids the usual, maybe over-the-top stuff. It's more visceral, sometimes pretty brutal, actually. Lots of chaotic sequences that really keep you hooked. He makes the action feel grounded, even when things get crazy. Of course, the big question everyone's asking is, could this film somehow connect to his Lokesh cinematic universe? The LCU.
Ah, the LCU connection.
Yeah, that would be huge. Monumental, really, for him and for Rajinikanth's legacy, too.
Okay, and then you have Rajinikanth, who is, more than just an actor, right? He's a cultural force. How does his, massive persona usually come across on screen? And how different is that from Lokesh's world?
Oh, completely different worlds, in a way. Rajinikanth's screen presence is just legendary. We're talking about those unique mannerisms, the powerful dialogue, the just undeniable swag he has. It captivates millions. He often plays the larger-than-life hero, sometimes bending the rules of physics with just a look.
Right.
He's done tons of action, obviously. But Coolie feels like a different challenge. How does that iconic, almost godlike style fit into Lokesh's world, which is usually more grounded, more realistic, sometimes even a bit morally gray? Finding that balance?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the most interesting part of this whole thing for me and probably for you watching.
Okay, this is where it gets really, really interesting. These two very distinct approaches. How might they actually shape Coolie as an action thriller? Are we expecting a toned-down Rajinikanth, or maybe Lokesh going a bigger?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If you look at the title itself, Coolie, meaning laborer, it kind of suggests a character who might seem ordinary at first, maybe underestimated, perhaps someone with a hidden past, something dark or deadly that comes out slowly.
Interesting.
And that idea fits perfectly with Lokesh's style, right?
Yeah.
He loves complex characters, maybe non-linear stories.
Yeah.
Imagine Rajinikanth's famous swagger, but maybe it's not in some huge entrance. Maybe it's quieter, like a menacing confidence during some intense close-up fight.
I see. Using the persona differently.
Exactly. Or using his powerful voice not just for punchlines, but to show some deep internal struggle. And given Lokesh loves those night scenes, those elaborate heists, that constant feeling of danger, expect some intense chases, maybe some really gritty hand-to-hand combat that feels really impactful, visceral.
Right.
The thriller side will probably keep you guessing, mixing that high-speed action with real suspense. Psychological tension, maybe, as much as the physical stuff.
So, putting it all together, what does this mean for Coolie? It sounds like it could be aiming for something more than just your typical action flick.
Yeah, I think so. And it raises a really interesting question, maybe for you listening too. When you get these two very different creative forces colliding, one all about grounded realism, the other about iconic spectacle, what happens? What kind of new cinematic language could actually come out of that?
That's a great point.
Could this movie set a new template? Maybe for how big stars operate in Indian cinema, where you honor the persona, but also sort of reframe it in a more realistic context.
Yeah, exactly. Think about how Coolie might do more than just entertain. It could push the boundaries of the action thriller genre itself just by blending these contrasting styles, creating something that feels, both familiar because it's Rajinikanth, but also fresh and new because it's Lokesh. That's definitely something worth keeping an eye on.